We create boundaries when we give priorities to someone or something that really matters to us, and we aim to protect it. Having boundaries is not an easy thing to do, but I know that you can do it because in some areas of your life you already have strong boundaries. So just let's think about this together. And as I talk, I want you to write down exactly the areas where you feel you have strong boundaries already. So, for example, you might go to bed really early so that you get enough sleep. Or you maybe eat at the same time in the day. Or you tend to tidy up your environment and wash your dishes straight after the dinner because you don't like to be in a messy environment. You are protecting this because it is important to you. You are saying, I'm not willing to live in a messy environment and therefore I'm going to protect it. And you take action to protect it. My name is Yeva. I am a relationship coach and I help women deepen their relationship with their feminine essence so that they can become a safe embrace for themselves and live life with ease because they know that they have that inner support that they can offer for themselves. Now, some boundaries are not easy to create, especially when it involves other people and relationships. So I see that there are two scenarios where we need to create healthy boundaries and where we need to give a little bit of protection towards it. One scenario is where we consider how other people treat us. And the other scenario is where we give our energy. Because not everyone and not everything deserves our energy. So let's talk about the first scenario. So if you imagine that you are in a long-term relationship, or maybe you have been or you are in a long-time relationship, and you notice that your partner is mistreating you in some way or makes you feel uncomfortable in some situations. And this is the opportunity for you to step up and to express yourself. But as women, we often don't. Why? Because we are afraid to create friction. We are afraid to create a conflict. And we are afraid to perhaps suffer the consequence of the argument, of that friction, because we will have to live with it. So it is almost easier to brush it under the carpet, to just let it go. So now let's go to the second scenario where we are protecting our energy. So like I said, that not everybody deserves our energy, especially in the scenarios where we find ourselves doing the whole of the work, doing the whole investment in that relationship. And we often find ourselves in a one-sided relationship where actually the relationship is alive because of our effort. And if we stop the effort, the relationship probably will just cease because it is alive on our own effort. So in both of those scenarios, it is not easy to communicate because we are afraid that if we really stand up for ourselves, we will not be accepted. And also, if we are going to stand up for ourselves, we might need to give up, on everything, on all of these relationships. And we probably are afraid to admit that if I were to really not tolerate this behavior, and if I were to really preserve my energy, I need to go that job, I need to let go of that boyfriend, I need to let go of that friend, and that is not an easy thing to do. I mean, I'm talking really radical terms. It doesn't really mean always that when you stand up you're on ground that people will not accept it. But the wrong people will not. And if the wrong people will not, these are the wrong people for you. And you really give yourself a favor by letting these people slide away from your life. Now, the common thing, and I guess the difficulty and in that is that we are often afraid of being alone and not having anybody. I have gone through a period of my life where I had to radically get rid of all of the relationships, everything that I was holding on to, that I relied in my life. I had to let go, all of it. I had to let go of that job, of that toxic boss. I had to let go of that boyfriend and that friend that really took my energy away. And it was really hard. It was hard because I realized that I am now gonna need to be on my own. I have absolutely nobody. But the first thing that happened was that I gained my energy back. And I could spend that energy back on myself. And although it was hard to be alone, at some point it felt almost natural. At some point it felt like I really needed it. And at some point it felt addictive even and necessary, So if you ever find in a situation where you are alone, just know that yes, it will be hard in the beginning, but it's really a gift in life, because when a woman can go through something like that on her own, through an experience of her own, without no support, without nobody embracing her and telling her and encouraging her, she understands after that experience and coming to the other side that there is nothing in the world that can knock her down. She's unstoppable because she does not have any fear. She does not afraid to lose anything. She has already lost everything she could. And yet she came to the other side because she knew she had herself. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are alone, I want to read you a quote from one of my favorite poets, Rumi. It reads like this: whenever you are alone, remind yourself that God has sent everyone away, so there's only you and Him. So, I would like to leave you with this quote, but also I would like to invite you to just remember and remind yourself to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your energy, to stand up for the things that matter. You are at the center of it. You are the most important thing. And practice standing up for yourself. It is scary, but I think that it will never lead you astray, because you will get to know where people are at with you. If they are not responding, if they are not respecting, then is it worth you spending your precious energy on them, on somebody who doesn't care? who doesn't invest, who doesn't really have any sympathy or compassion for you. Because at this very moment where you are investing your energy, you are losing your energy. And I would invite you to gain that energy back, to bring that energy back to yourself, because you're worth it. You are totally worth it. So let's just imagine for one moment that you are able bravely step up for yourself, communicate every time anybody steps over your boundary. And you are able to do that with confidence and with ease. How would that look like for you? How would you feel? What possibilities would that open up for you? I want to leave you with this. You are amazing. You are important. And you deserve all. Take care.